Like if you see the percentage of the respondents giving a rating of 6 or 7 on a 7-point scale. So these people were basically asked, like, after the enterprise architecture was started in your organization, what is basically your scores? And they really had these favorable scores which pointed out that enterprise architecture is really helping in the organization after it has been set up. Before I start off with my arguments, I'll hand off to Mohit so that he can start with his summary.
Thanks, Vijay, for giving us a nice update, changing the shoes and telling me how enterprise architecture is important. Okay, so let's have a quick look on some of the, I'm sorry, I'm using a slide.
No, but I suggest why don't you start with your summary and then
I'll tell you because this is in correlation, and thanks for breaking this up. So, I believe that if we just have a close look on some of the benefits which we are getting out of enterprise architecture, improved ability to share data, improved ability to share functional components, lower development costs, reduced time to market. Excellent. These are really good features. But you know what? Enterprise architecture still, as on day to day, is something which is very fishy into the ID for now. People are still not clear on the fundamental concept of the enterprise architecture. I'm not saying that it is not the people who are working on it, but yes, most of the masses, they don't know what enterprise architecture is all about and what is applicability and implementation ability into the current environment holds on. Let's look at some of the scenario, and it is one of the studies which Accenture's one of the senior technical architects, Dean Griffin, does. He notes that the enterprise architecture has entered into the mainstream. For practitioners, this has raised a whole new set of challenges, as they must now play a role in helping the enterprise achieve high importance. Very good. What follows is part 1 of his article, or the 5 challenges in the enterprise architecture. So let's look at 5 major challenges which we face in enterprise architecture. Compliance. First set of challenges centers on regulatory compliance. Enterprise architects are well placed to help identify systems and processes that are impacted by compliance requirements and regulations. Security. The old days of hard and crispy on the outside and soft and chewy in the middle long since have gone. Extending the enterprise and empowering the organization with technology has become enterprise, and security breaches are likely to come from this within and without. I'll tell you the reasons as well why. Privacy. Enterprise architects must also get the right protection of the privacy. We must see ourselves as instrumental in keeping the social compact. Compliance, security and privacy. 3 major areas as far as information security aspect is concerned is on the stage. And this is as per the latest study by Accenture's Dean Griffin. Technology refresh. Accenture's research and conversations with leading CIOs instructs that organizations are in a deep period of technology refresh, and that the investment cycle in IT has moved from revitalizing and retooling the financial, enterprise resource planning and other key back office systems to engineering the support the business core processes such as customer relationship management and supply chain optimization. Now, if they have to go off with such a big project, I'm coming to that. If we have to go with such a big project, they will have to ensure that they have to have an enterprise architecture aspect into the place. But again, their compliance, security and privacy is at stake. They are worried about the productivity. Being able quickly and accurately to model what ifs is an increasingly central goal for an architect. Globalization and scaling is driving the potential for increased complexity in the organization. So every stage when the enterprise architect consults with different departments and different technology areas within an organization, he gets different views which he needs to collect, and every time he's confused with a major fact, what ifs? What if this and what if that? Finally, what is happening is that, and I brought up that data yesterday. I would try to, since this Internet Explorer is not working on that particular part, I got certain data which actually shows that how the companies or the organizations, when they start focusing upon the enterprise architecture level to develop certain products, have incurred huge losses. Just because if a project needs to be completed in 2 weeks, it actually got completed in 4 months or maybe in a year. because they were actually analyzing what is the outcome of this product if it launches into the market. So this is a big challenge. And moreover, when you have a data and when you have interaction with all the different departments, the privacy, security and compliance is something which is at a stake. So this is which we need to take care of. What do you think?
There is one major disconnect, Mohit, which you have presented in this. And just read the first para. Is basically what they are trying to say here in this study is not that enterprise architecture is not required. They are saying even after getting enterprise architecture into picture, Accenture is saying enterprise, even after establishing enterprise architecture, this team is struggling with this major important aspect. These issues existed even before. So let me just continue, please. If you read again, just have a look at the first para again. Just reread it. The issue here is that even after enterprise architecture is getting established, but these are the challenges which EA team is for basically facing. Like it is like what are the challenges which IT department faces. So this does not say, or any of these 5 points doesn't say that you don't need EA. These are something that organizations are right now suffering from major point compliance. Like enterprise architecture is trying to make its best effort to ensure compliance issues are not found, but they are still they are not able to do that 100%. All the 5 parameters which you spoke about.
If there is any
10 minutes, give 10 minutes to cover his points.
Okay.
Maybe 5, 7 minutes.
Because its time is okay.
Yes.
And then
Yes. So if you want, we can debate on this, but if you read the first para, Mohit, it's really, after that I'll leave it to you. I'm going to debate on this. But this particular 5 points are the challenges which right now EA and I fully accept it.
We will debate. It's about debate, so we will do that.
No. The only thing is the debate here is the disconnect here is you are saying because EA team is unable to do this 5, EA team should not exist. That is the only debate I would do. But otherwise, I'm saying these are the challenges. I like how cloud computing is having those past challenges which I spoke about, like performance and availability and security. EA is having this, and they really have to overcome. Work is happening in that. But here, this discussion is not about what are the challenges of EA team which they are having.
Why not? Why not? Until as I focus that you are saying that you have to apply EA on a big bang phases. Major challenges they are facing related to security and compliance. And you are saying let's apply it. They are still not in any framework if it or any other aspect or any other architecture if it doesn't focuses upon the security and compliance. How can you accept that?
Please understand, EA is not a product.
What is
EA is not product.
Enterprise
architecture is basically a group who basically has to review the product from enterprise architecture point of view.
No,
and what
they have to review it under certain guidelines and under certain frameworks.
And what they are saying is, like part of enterprise architecture, these 5 things are really something which now they are not able to do it thoroughly. Yeah, I think
you should continue with your.
Sure.
If there is a basic understanding problem with you think Mohit has in terms of the subject, let judges decide it and then it will reflect upon the
Sure. Thank you. So I will move to my next point, which is the argument in favor. The first argument which I have is like developing IT products, keeping in mind today and tomorrow. This is again one of the, so especially in the area of product development when new product launch is happening, though it is only 30%, but the cost is 70%. This is again an important point. That while there is they really suck huge money. So this 30% products which are getting, 30% changes which are really happening in the organization, while the volume is only 30%, but from cost perspective, yes, they take up 70% of the organizational cost from IT budget point of view. So it's important that they are reviewed from the aspects of not only whether they are going to meet the need of today, but whether it will be able to meet the need of tomorrow. And this is where important aspect like whether my current infrastructure, will it be able to take care of it, whether the new applications which are there in my organizations, if there is an upgrade happening, why not really relook at it, an application which I am doing. Like for example, ERP application itself. Organizations may have finance applications, right now a separate product, HR application, a separate product, appraisal system, a separate product, and learning module, a separate product. Now, if some team is basically looking forward at doing product improvement in some particular area, enterprise team can actually come and say, guys, there is a much better product in market which is called as Oracle ERP or SAP ERP. All these are clubbed in one. Why go and buy these separate products? Now, Oracle ERP can give you e-learning, HR, finance module, all these. And this kind of suggestions will only come when they are looked at from the enterprise perspective. A quick fact here, enterprise architecture goal is IT that enables business strategy today and tomorrow. The tomorrow part is especially important. And this is basically said by Peter Iconus, who is the chief enterprise architect at Toyota in one of the Tokyo forums. Enterprise architect's role is that of a city planner. They basically are referring to him, enterprise architect, as a city planner, where he is like to think from a much bigger perspective, like from a roadmap, what will be the common requirements, regulations. So keeping all this in perspective, he should be able to propose. And this is where the important aspects come into picture. Moving to my next argument is which I started off with, complexity. If you see, the organizational structure is getting quite complex because of number of applications running, where multiple applications are there, different data platforms are there, we have different technologies which are running across, and different corporate networks, infrastructure networks, and now cloud adding to the picture. So cloud computing is again coming into picture. So there are multiple aspects which needs to be considered. So when enterprise architecture is introduced, this basically removes this end-to-end, it reviews from end-to-end perspective and removes this individual silos. So that's again an important aspect which EA brings into picture. My next argument is around the enterprise architecture roots are in the desire to serve what is best for the organization. Many times what may happen is that a certain segment of business may only be very much centric from a particular business requirement perspective. This is what I need. But that particular change or that particular requirement which they might be saying in the product may not really turn out to be a good part for the other areas in the business. So here basically I will try to again quote example out here is that one of the business user, his requirement was that I would like to have an email generated whenever an invoice is generated for a particular client. Why? Because he's specifically for that particular client who is a big customer also. So he wanted to have an email generated for every invoice which is just generated for that customer. But then the enterprise architecture came into picture and he said that, see, you are asking for this email generation, but then this is going to have an immediate impact on the network because our current bandwidth is so and so. From an enterprise point of view, our email system is already running on this particular node. So the change which you are asking for is just not a product change, but it also requires certain changes to be done from infrastructure perspective. So that was just an example, and this kind of information which enterprise architecture can bring in, where business may think it's a simple cost, but then later on if the enterprise reviews it, they may actually suggest that what is the real cost of it. This could be my final argument, and then I'll move it. So, product development myth. Many good developers and senior developers think they are fit enough to be called as architects. But being a developer and being an enterprise architect is totally different thing. It's not the same. Enterprise architecture is not about IT serving the business. It is about IT and business working together to turn a company's vision of greatness into reality. The enterprise architect can be instrumental in making that happen. This is basically taken from the cxo.com, where primarily it's a CIO forum. And this is what they are trying to bring into picture is that many times a developer or the senior developer may have this feeling that, yes, I have the big picture, I know about it, but it is not the case. Enterprise architecture is the one who basically would have a much higher view at an organization-wide, what is coming, what's not coming, and then he can really give a much bigger picture on it.